Can y'all hear us now? Anything? Hello? Okay, I'm getting a yup from Okay, we're good. Sorry, sorry, John. Start again. Apologies.
Charm. No. This is the wonders of Twitch. I think I've seen there's a certain show out there, and for 150 episodes, they always had audio trouble for their first 10, 20 minutes. And it took a long time for that to get fixed. And so if they had trouble, who are we? But anyway, good evening. I am John, and I am your GM for the evening here on the show. Seriously, let's play. And tonight, we're going to go ahead and jump into things with introductions of the players I have. So, going around the table, Rob, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself a little.
Hi, I'm Rob. I have been doing role playing games for 30 plus years. I've been a huge fan of the Avatar series since it started, and I am also I play in the Monday Night Star Trek game as Commander Chevron, and I'm going to be running the next 3 sessions, I believe.
Yeah, it's a great system and a great game. I don't know if anybody out there has been there for it, but it is called The Voyages of, and it is a multi-cast, rotating cast and rotating GM where we have a cast, I believe, between 8 and 10 players. Every table is only going to be 4 people, and every game is basically a ship level kind of game where it's different people being pulled together for ship level hijinks, I guess you could put it. So kind of a reimagining, but at the same time, there is an overarching plot, and we do have some linchpin or kind of main characters that the plot will definitely be affecting. So please come on out on Monday nights and check that out. It is an every week show. That said, let's go ahead and go on. We've got Toan here with us tonight.
Hello, everybody. Some of you may have seen me from the other show that we do, Growing Shadows. We do that every other Thursday evening. I've been role playing for almost I'm a few years shy of 2 decades of role playing under my belt. So, yep. And I hate Avatar.
You what?
I hate Avatar. No, I don't actually. I'm lying. I'm completely lying. I am.
It's like, wait a second.
What have I done?
Wait a second. I remember you ordering a game for Avatar in our store.
I did like, to burn it. No, I still have it. I still have it, and so I'm an avid Avatar fan and a kung fu junkie. So I'm excited to be playing this.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming tonight, and let's go ahead and hop over to Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael. I've also almost have 20 years of role-playing experience under my belt. Yes, I guess I am old. At least I have the balding to show it. I want to thank them for inviting me to play this. I am a huge fan of Avatar. I did get into it a little bit later. It was already like on streaming services at that time when I was finally able to sit down and watch it, and really dedicated that in. And I am also part of the cast of the game put out by the One-Legged GM. You can find him on YouTube. For his own system, Hidden Worlds Incursion, and there I play a demigod, son of Hermes, named Imp. And so we're currently in the middle of our first season. Its episodes premiere every Thursday at 7:30. And nice. Austin, the cast, is in there, giving a little behind the scenes and that kind of stuff.
Nice, awesome. Well, we are really happy and honored that you're here on a Thursday night with us then. Huh? And we have with us as well tonight, we have Roxy.
Hi, I'm the one that is kind of a mess tonight. So I tried so hard to find someone else to sit in this chair tonight, and that just didn't happen. But yes, I'm Roxy Thompson. I am John's lovely wife, it's a title I claimed for myself. You can find me on every show, just about every show that we do on this channel. I'm on Growing Shadows. I'm on Illuminated Page, our Call of Cthulhu show on Thursdays, alternating with Growing Shadows, and I appear on the Star Trek show every so often. So find me here. You can find me at twitch.tv/CFTRPG every other Wednesday night playing Savage Ravenloft, a Savage Worlds Adventure Edition port of Curse of Strahd. And coming up pretty soon, I'm gonna be appearing in a D&D show on Friday night. So be on the lookout for that at twitch.tv/lore explorers. I'll throw up links for everything, for all the shows that the fellas have mentioned, and for anything that I or John have mentioned, and we'll get that out there so you guys can keep up with us if you so choose. So thank you all for coming tonight.
So that said, tonight we are playing Avatar: The Last Airbender, the RPG that's coming out pretty soon here from Magpie Games. Magpie is an amazing company. I don't know who all is familiar with it out there, but as for myself, I became a huge fan of theirs when they put out the Masks: The Next Generation RPG. I went absolutely haywire with that one. They put out a really high level tier with it, where you got the key to the city, and I have an actual physical key for this city from the game, and I love it. It's up on my wall and everything else, wonderful. But so Magpie Games has gotten the opportunity to put out this absolutely wonderful property, and the system that they are putting out on is Powered by the Apocalypse. Powered by the Apocalypse is a very intriguing system that, for me as an old school GM, I have a very hard time wrapping my head around it. But I do try because some of the most amazing properties have come out through Powered by the Apocalypse. I love Cult, Divinity Lost. I love City of Mist, and so many others. Apocalypse World, the base game is wonderful. Worldwide Wrestling is an insanely great port to the Powered by the Apocalypse system. And you'll find so many others out there that are just dynamite, to be honest. And you can go to the website and track all of them down. But we have a Kickstarter coming up, or not we, but there's a Kickstarter coming up I'm hugely interested in. And that is for this game. They put out the quick start guide this week. And since we had the opportunity, I wanted us to go ahead and say, hey, let's get together with some friends and do a chill game. So if you're out there, I hope you're chilling with us and can enjoy this along with us. Uh, that said, why don't we go ahead and get a little bit of a character background going? Uh, One last thing. This is going to be a little bit, like I said, casual game. But we're also going to, this is a very conversational game, very story based game. And as we go through it, I hope that you enjoy it and see how this world builds. But yeah, so character introductions. Who wants to tell me about their character first? Oh,
I mean, I can. Since so for this game, I chose to play one of the. I'm sorry.
sorry, you need your push to talk went off.
Oh, sorry. I'm holding the button. But yeah, I'm playing one of the preaching characters. So anything you see me do tonight, besides roleplay really badly, is something that you too can do if you picked up the free quick start, and it is free. And I'll send a link in the chat as well for that. But I am playing a character called Winley the Hammer, and I am Fire Nation. I grew up in the poorest part of Harbor City and witnessed a lot of the strong exploiting the weak, and to the point that I am not very happy. I have a lot of bitterness. I have a very, um, I have the bitterness is more than what I would say, but kind of a Robin Hood mentality. I want to take from the strong and support the weak. So I am constantly finding walls to run into and people that I don't like because the system is not fair and it will never be fair. And so I don't play by fair rules. So that's Win Lee. We'll see how she does tonight.
All right. So who would like to go next on character introductions? Yeah.
My Discord's freaking out, but I could go next. I am playing a. I'm actually playing one of the quick start rules include ways to design your own character, and that's what I went and chose to do. I am actually playing a non-bender. His name is Zhou Jian, but he goes by Li. He's from the Fire Nation as well, and he was raised in a middling noble class family. His family actually makes war machines for the Fire Nation. And as he got older and learned more and more what was going on, he sort of rebelled against until one day he couldn't tolerate anymore and sort of ran off in the middle of the workday. And now he's pretty much trying to make up for what his family does. The playbook that he is called the Guardian, and basically it's the sort of the big brother of the group.
All right. Yeah. So far we've had people mentioning playbooks or titles with their characters. Just to toss that out there. That is a part of this game system. Is that there are playbooks with titles that you just drop your general idea onto it and fill out the flow chart that is the character sheet and end up with a character. So yeah, it's a kind of a nice way to doing classes as well, but gives you an idea of the emotion of the character. Yes, like there's one that says the successor, the icon. There we go. Yep, the guardian.
Yeah, the way that I had to wrap my head around it was that playbooks are essentially character concepts or archetypes that you just fill in the blanks and make it your own.
All right. So let's see. Tuan, would you like to go ahead and introduce us to your character?
Sure, may as well. I will be playing Shuilin, and I am a from the Water Tribe. I am one of the sons of the successful Guanlin Protection Agency, and I come from wealth and privilege, and yeah.
All right, awesome.
Wealth and privilege.
Uh,
Hmm.
All right, so Michael, that puts you next.
so I am also playing one of the ones you can just pull right out of the book to play. That being said, I did make a modification. I'll be playing Ming Li, the icon, who in the book is Zaipan, the icon. And he is the last of the Earth Dancers, which was a troop brought over to the Fire Nation to basically go from court to court and entertain. He is an Earthbender, um, and while him and his family did while he was growing up have what looked like freedom, as he grew up he found that began to realize that it was not freedom. Like they couldn't leave if they wanted to. They always had like people protecting them, that kind of stuff. And so he when his after his mother died, he decided that he was going to get out. And so he convinced the general that basically was his watchdog, um, to let him go. And before being he fled, met these wonderful folks here, and then was captured.
Awesome. So that's got us our four characters. Can I go ahead and get those character names again?
I am Ming Li, Mingli.
Uh, I am Lee Lee.
And what was the first name for your character?
I think that is.
Oh, his real name is Zhou Jian, but he doesn't go by that anymore.
No problem. All right. Antoine, what is your character's name?
Shuilin. Shuilin.
And I am Winley, all one word, Wenli.
All right. So, when you are creating a game in Powered by the Apocalypse, a lot of times it'll ask you tons of questions. If you go for Apocalypse World, it's even more than you can imagine because you create the world together. But in this game, we're playing in a pre-made world. But one of the things that they do is they want you to find a group focus. Uh, Tonight, we're going to be playing the game that is presented, the mission that is presented in the quick start, so we can stick to the material as well as we can for the time frame that we're allotted. Uh, but with that said, uh, everyone knows that they were captured because you were trying to get a fire scroll. This, there's more to it than that, but just starting off, I mean, you're going to be having the opportunity to escape. But within that, what would you say is a your focus tonight? Is there any other focus besides escaping that you think really is the focus for the group?
Did we get the fire scroll? Obviously not. If we got captured.
You you did not. You were captured before you could get it.
That is going to be one of my remaining focuses, is to get that fire
Yeah,
scroll.
getting the scroll is going to be good.
Hmm.
All right. So I might change up the mission a little bit, which is one of the neat things with Powered by the Apocalypse. So, and also, if you're this GM, you can always just throw some curveballs. Your players will.
Give us a John spin so anybody that watches this can enjoy the quick start on their own.
Okay. That said, let's talk about outlining this incident. Uh, we have three acts to really look at. There is, Act One, Act Two, Act Three, and we kind of need to figure out where this started. Obviously the end all be all goal now is gain the scroll, but what led us to this point? How did you guys get to know each other? What was the first incident or something that happened within this group? And I think that's a good building block or good building point at the to start with. Where do you think you guys are, or would have started? Where would you have known each other?
Well, I think it's possible that Lee might have met Winley. Well, they have sort of similar goals, like trying to stop the Fire Nation's basic running rampant over the world.
Yeah, while I am Fire Nation, I have no love for the Fire Nation's ruling class, and I, my goal is to see them topple. So, whatever we can do to combat that, I'm sure uh, I've met Lee, and I believe Ming Lee also grew up in Fire Nation.
Hmm.
So, um, we probably have crossed paths many times.
Okay, so you want to say Act One is that you have discovered the plans, something else going on with the Fire Nation, with the soon to be crowned emperor.
Okay. Would this scroll that we're looking for be something important to that?
That is a good question. Do you want to make that your next thing? That you were either going to find it, destroy it, acquire it? What is it that you think is the next act of this? You are aware of this, you know, overall dastardly plan. Is it on the scroll? Let's start there.
Perhaps the scroll holds some type of blueprint for a weapon or a power or something that they plan to harness to try to conquer other nations.
Okay, so some kind of like terrible truth or terrible plan.
Maybe
It
something
just
to
has
I was gonna say maybe something to help them break the walls of Ba Sing Se.
Mhm.
I
It
like
just
that
says,
especially because. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say it just says master plan across the top of it, and so that's why we're trying to steal it. No, go please, you
Yeah,
guys.
and I like the idea that it could be a weapon because that could tie into Lee's shtick of guilt around his family's
Hmm.
involvement in the war.
And
Nice.
that would also want Ming Lee into that because he would want to help protect the Earth Nation, even though he hasn't really stepped foot on there since he was very tiny.
So, Tuan, how about Shuailen?
That's the part that I'm just kind of trying to think about because I'm wondering if possibly I might have had a run-in with Wen Lee's character. Maybe there was an opportunity for Wen Lee to try to steal some of my family's fortunes in order.
But we just lost a little bit of your audio. Sorry there, bud.
Oh yeah, we lost your audio, Tuan. Sorry.
Yeah, my headset's just been acting up all day today.
That's
So,
that's all right. That's
yeah.
all right. Mine
Um,
apparently is too.
what was the last thing you heard me say?
Steal the
Stealing the
fortune.
wealth.
Yeah, so maybe there was an opportunity for you to steal my family's fortunes to give to the poor, and I would have probably tried to, at the very least, follow you to see what you were planning on doing with those fortunes. And so,
And
Okay.
so, let's toss this out there. Are you guys thinking about is there something deeper? Or is it not just that you want to hide the plan away from the empire, but are you also thinking about starting a rebellion? Rebellions take money.
I would say that Win Lee is very interested in starting a rebellion. It might not have been her my first goal, but it is definitely a long term goal. We may have just lost Tuan to
Yeah, it
a
looks like
lightning strike.
yeah, he just went dark.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll deal with that as it comes. It's what storms do. And it's Texas, y'all. So you've heard of Texas's power issues many times this year. But yeah, Winley, a long term goal for her would definitely probably be to start a rebellion.
I
Okay.
imagine that Lee probably is at least aware of an underground movement, if nothing else, if not actively a part of it.
All right. Well, give Roxy a moment here and we'll get some stuff moved around. So that said, so there's the terrible plan. There's the you know, this uniting against the emperor. So we got ourselves a classic rebellion story a la Star Wars and other things. Uh, but Act 3, the closing act of your prequel, kind of think of it that way. What do you think would have been cemented? And it could have been the capture. It could have been all of y'all being captured. Do you think you were captured because of trying to steal it, or do you think you were captured because of discussion or rebellion?
Perhaps.
Weird thought. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just say go for it. I was going to suggest perhaps we didn't actually get it, or they maybe they don't know that that's what we were trying to steal.
I was gonna say maybe the capture was part of the plan
I was
to
actually
get
gonna
in
suggest the
past
same
the
thing.
walls.
I like that. Yeah, nah, let's go for
Nice.
that.
That was our first plan. Like, let's all get captured.
Cool. Let's see here.
So capturing was part of the plan. Getting captured was your goal to get you here. That said, we've got a little bit of an introduction to your character. Uh, but and we talked a little bit about the playbooks. Every playbook has tie-ins, though, ways to tie the characters together. So, you know, let's go ahead and talk about those with your characters really quick. Are some of the tie-ins that we have that we need to set?
So for me, my first connection is one of the group seems to not fully understand what it means to be that I'm the icon of my tradition, and I kind of like the feel. I kind of like feeling free around them. So someone doesn't know that I am the last member who upholds the tradition of earth dancing. Um, that if I die, I that earth dancing dies with me. So but like the fact that they don't know that makes me feel free about it, because I don't feel that burden to like be like I have to be like always portraying who I am.
Nice, nice. So who do you want to sign, or who do you want to ask, or is there somebody that wants to volunteer?
I was to say, does anybody want to think that it would be good for their fit?
And you said it was. Can you? I'm sorry. Can you repeat it? I was following a tech check.
No worries. So my character as the icon is the last of the earth dancers.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Um and specifically this connection is about someone not knowing how important it is that I am the icon, and because of that I can kind of like relax around them. I feel more
Okay,
free.
okay. Um, the only thing that I would that would make me hesitant to take it would be because you had mentioned before that maybe I fit better for the second option that you had.
Yeah,
But
yeah, the second
but
one
I could.
is, go ahead.
I was gonna say I could take that one, and I maybe it's the I know that you were an important performer for the Earth Kingdom, but
Mm-hmm.
not realize that it's like an ancient and nearly lost martial art.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, yeah, you dance with the Earth, yeah,
Yeah, I
not
do.
like the yeah.
Yeah, there was probably a festival that I performed at that you saw, and like I did some kind of like really fancy dance. You're like, oh, he's good. He's really good. It's just you don't realize that I'm one of the few people who knows how to do that. Are the literally only person who knows how to do that left.
Especially as a non-bender, it's like, yeah, you're dancing and Earth's flying around. It looks like whenever anyone does Earth bending,
Yeah.
not realizing that it's very different.
Awesome. So your second one, though, you were saying you really wanted to do that one with Roxy.
So for that one, it was so makes me feel better about my responsibilities and my burden with a smile and a few kind words.
I can definitely be a smile and a few kind words to my friends. It's everyone else that I have, I have bitterness toward. It's definitely the power imbalance. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong camera. The power imbalance between the classes is where most of my bitterness is. But if I were bitter all the time, I don't think I would have made it as far as I've made it
Mm,
if I were this angry with everyone. But yeah, no, and especially
yeah.
if we've known each other for a long time, if our ages are similar.
Hmm.
Uh,
Probably.
so yeah,
Yeah. And I would say most of you have probably, like those of you who have seen who've known me for a long time, especially Win Lee, would have only really seen me smile in more modern days when I was dancing.
okay, okay. So yeah, I would probably encourage the dancing as well. You know, to do it.
Awesome. Okay, so Rob or Roxy, who would like to go ahead and do your character tie-ins? 'Cause I believe there's only two per sheet.
Yes, I can go ahead and go. Mine are pretty
Sounds good.
basic. Basically, as Team Dad, which is what Guardian is, um, I'm going to suggest Win Lee for this one. Um, Win Lee is my ward. They need me to have their back the end of story, based on very hot-headed, very aggressive, very, and I'm like kind of trying to temper that and focus it in the right direction, and also,
Okay,
and
I
then the
definitely
other,
need that.
And then the other one would be for Ming, right?
Uh,
Yes.
Mingli, yeah.
Ming Lee, Winley, Ming Lee, and Lee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we may not
it's
have
the
maybe we should have like mentioned what our names were a little earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
I literally found out 20 minutes before we went live. So, so
Oh, sorry.
Same.
I will probably refer to you as Min and Win, Ming and Win,
okay.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
as kind of again the giving nicknames to the children or little siblings or what have you. And the other one would be Ming. Looks like they're more than capable without my help. I'm glad some of us can take care of ourselves.
Nice.
All right, there we go. Good character tie-ins there. So that means Roxy with Win Lee.
Sure. So my connections are blank has a way to solve problems with words instead of fists. It's really impressive. Um, which one of you do you think would fit that? Here, I'll read them both, just in case you both feel strongly one way or another. I worry blank won't be able to hold their own when things get tough. I'm gonna toughen them up. So, at
I think
first,
that.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just saying, at first glance, I feel like the first one is probably Lee, and then the second one is Ming Lee. Is
That
where
would
I
be
was
Yeah, I
leaning.
think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah. The only reason I would reverse it is for the comedic value because
The Guardian, I'm like,
the
toughen up, man.
Yeah.
because the Guardian's also a non-bender, right?
Yes, but it's one of the things. Uh, the Win Lee just can't take care of herself, and Lee needs to be tougher so he can take care of himself.
That's right.
So I think it does follow the flow better.
No, that makes sense. No, I like that. I just thought it was a little funny. Just like the comedic
For
value
sure.
immediately was there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So that sets our stage to some extent. We know our character backgrounds. We know a little bit about why you're here, why you're in prison, and this is a good place for us to go and start talking about our story. So, what is happening right now in the city is that we are 20 years into, I believe, the 100-Year War.
Mhm.
And the Fire Nation's emperor or is about to be crowned. This is all taking place during the coronation. Would have been a great time for things to happen. And that was when you were captured, specifically uh, by a Fire Lord Bai, or sorry, Fire Sage Bai. He and his forces, some guards under his control and a general, captured you as you were trying to break into the palace. Now, that said, this palace is a rather interesting place to begin with. Uh, so we are happening. This story is happening inside or at a volcano, a dormant volcano. But obviously the symbolism with the Fire Nation and obviously just the overall feel. But it's Hari Bulkan is the capital. It is inside the caldera, the burnt out interior of the volcano, is this royal palace. And these grounds that are the upper class, the beautiful, to some extent, city designed by them. Uh, the exterior, the slopes going down around this volcano is an area known as Harbor City, and it is a harbor. The volcano extends outwards, and as the slopes go to the end, it's almost you can see when the volcano was in existence, it came up near this ocean, and slope goes out and slowly dips down into the water. So you're right there on the bay, and a city has formed up around that in general. Uh, and you had found your way through the city, which is not to say slums, this is a capital city, but there is a very obvious difference between the wealth and the opulence between the two areas. How familiar would you have said your characters were with that?
I grew up here. This is actually my hometown.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty familiar. Like my my character isn't from this area, but the noble house that he's a member of or was a member of is centered in the capital city.
Okay. So that said, you have those this caldera and this the palace is up against one of the edges, and they have made sure that, of course, to build it on the edge as the sun comes up, it is illuminated with the sun rising behind it for anyone to see. Uh, there is that just design to it. And down below, of course, are the court buildings and various other official buildings, large squares, and the opulence that you would find within that kind of you know royalty and high nobility area of a town. That is where you were captured to some extent. Uh, is in that town. You would have been taken to a prison that's also in that section, giving you a little bit more access now to the city. You're here now. You're in the inside. This is all going according to plan. But that said, we find you deep in a dungeon, in a jail. The doors are closed and there are bars. The smell of course, rodents is always an accompaniment for any dungeon. And the kind of damp air here, which is very odd, when you think about it with the caldera, the Fire Nation, you're so far down that there is a dampness to the earth just from the cooling of it here, which is actually kind of nice and refreshing if it wasn't for the fact where you are. So tell me, where is your character within this dungeon at this point? How are we starting this story?
Before we start, I do have a power that I need to roll for.
All right.
It's before a story. It's called Protector's Burden. Basically, this will allow me and Winley to have some powers to use with each other.
Awesome.
And it says, sorry, let me get the sheet out. Um, when they mark a condition in front of you, mark a fatigue or mark a condition to represent, me failing as a protector. You can always call upon you to live up to your participation without shifting the balance and take one when they do so. Here it is. At the beginning of each session, roll taking +1 for each, and there's 3 questions. Number 1, do you believe your ward listens to you more often than not? I'm probably going to say no on that one. Does that one sound accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah,
Have you recently protected them or helped them with a problem? I whole situation would count as a yes on that.
I agree.
And the last one is there immediate threat to your ward that you are aware of? Which I would also argue is a yes.
Yeah, no,
Because
I'm totally cool with all of that.
I was mostly asking for John to clear those. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So since this is the first roll of the session, do we want to go over the system real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a 2d6 system, and you will roll 2d6, adding together an appropriate stat sometimes it'll say statless, or it'll say that you're just making a base roll, but you'll add that stat to it or subtract. There are times where your stat will be lower than 0, and that total, you will have a table of success. A lot of times it's in the ballpark of 9, 10, or 11. Sometimes it's higher than that, telling you what exactly the outcome is.
For this
So,
game, I believe it is 6 and under is a complete failure. 7 to 9 is a partial success, and 10, 11, and 12 are a total success.
There we go.
All right, so I rolled an 8, and then I get to add +2 for those two questions, so that would be a 10.
There we go. All right.
So it gives me what's called hold 2, which are I have basically two things, two uses of this power I can use at any time, and it can allow me to take a 10 up on any move to defend or protect them, to track them down even if they're hidden or avoiding you, or to figure out what they're up to without them knowing.
That could be very useful with the ward. All right. But that said, so with the power out of the way, was there anything else anyone needs to do before we get started? All right. So go ahead and describe for me how we find your character in this dungeon.
So Ming is currently in wall restraints in a completely wooden cell. That's actually a cell that they specifically made sure that there is no visible earth anywhere that he can touch. And then above that, because they know that he's actually like his arms are out here and his legs are also like chained up as well, so that he has zero movement whatsoever. He could basically just like slump against them. um and kind of looking out through the wooden bars and the nice thick wooden door and going, well, we're here.
All right.
I'm probably sorry. I'm likely pacing like a caged lion. Uh, even if this were part of the plan, even if it is part of the plan, being 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 walled in is not my favorite thing to be. So Winley is pacing and waiting for go time.
And Lee is casually lying on the floor, um, just slowly counting to himself, trying to wait to make sure that he had given enough time for the guards to have sort of done a cycle around before we, inactivate the plan.
Okay. And I guess I got that has everybody with their intro in. We have not heard from Toan, but we're hoping that he's okay out there.
His whole powers out has not come back yet, so
We might
uh,
be on our own for the evening.
we might
really
be on our own for the time being. If he's able to come back, he said he would, but right now they are stuck in darkness.
So definitely think of you, bud. But we're gonna keep on going, and hope we do the story some, do it proud. That said, as you're all there, and I'm gonna also say that if you're a bender, you're probably in a reinforced cell. If you have any history of bending whatsoever, which I know that
Sure.
there's two of you with that history. That's probably known in the city.
And I'm just in a rickety ramshackle cell.
Yeah, you might even have a wooden door. But that said, as you're there, I will say that you hear a key turning in the lock to the door, and it has been quite a bit. You had been told earlier that somebody was going to be your contact, someone who is also interested in rebellion or at least uh, counteracting the actions of the emperor. But what you're surprised by is as the door opens, uh, you see one of the fire sages, uh, Neon, I believe is how you say it, is opens the door, and you see this fire sage. They are dressed in the opulent, regal attire of one of the higher leaders of the Fire Nation. It might catch you a little bit off guard to see them there. but they stride forward and look very wary. Just the three of you?
We had another, but they didn't make it this far.
Well, I guess maybe with small numbers you'll do all right. Just one moment. Let me get these off of you. And he begins to work to unlock doors, take care of the chains, pop any locks that are restraining you.
Popping and locking.
Popping those locks.
Did we have like a code phrase or something for this contact?
That would have been smart, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably not.
we did. I don't think we thought that one through. I'm kind of new to this. Like, I didn't think I'd be coming back.
All right. The moment that you exit, he continues, the moment that you exit, you'll have some time, but eventually they're going to figure out that you are gone. And they're going to begin hunting you. While you are looking for the scroll, I will see what I can do about securing us passage out of town. There's no way that they aren't going to know that I'm involved at this point.
Where do you want us to meet you?
Meet me in Harbor Town. See if you can find specifically. You're going to be looking for a very specific group. Sorry. You're looking for the Firefinches. You may have heard of them. They're criminals, but they might be able to help us with smuggling. Yes, same thing.
It might be a good point for one of us to assess the situation, which is one of the basic moves.
Yeah.
To see if this guy's on the up and up, or because this feels like a trap. And I'm sure I'm not the only one feeling.
Yeah, like
All
the what should I be on the lookout for, maybe, or something like that, or as far as can you use it as kind of an insight?
Yeah, essentially. I'm going to go back up to it here, but it's
Yeah,
one of your
I can
basics.
read it off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can read it off if you'd like. When you assess a situation, you roll with creativity. On a 7 to 9, ask one question. On a 10 up, ask two questions. You can take +1 ongoing when acting on the answers. The questions are following. The questions are the following: what can I use here to blank? Who or what is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my best way out, in, or through? Who or what is the greatest danger? So I think a couple of those could come in handy.
Could one of us roll? What should I be on the lookout for? And perhaps another of us roll who or what is the greatest danger?
Well, if you roll well enough, you can ask two questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So
cool.
it's a roll first, and then you'll get to see how many questions you get to ask.
That's
And
right.
in most Powered by the Apocalypse games, you pretty much nominate one person in the party to roll. But this game does have the help another action, so one of us can give whoever's rolling a +1 to the roll.
I will help another, as my creativity is not strong, even though I'm a dancer. It's most of my stuff comes from skill and focus.
All right, and I believe that in order to use helping your fellow team member, you will take one fatigue.
I will take a fatigue.
Yes.
I can take a fatigue then.
Winley, do you have a decent creativity?
My creativity is a +1. So
I
it's
am
not
at a
bad.
0, and I believe Ming is at a -1.
I am at
Okay.
a +1 or a +0.
Oh,
I'm at a
okay.
0.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
that's right. I was at a -1, but I used my 1 point to raise that.
So should I roll?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to find some particularly fiery die. Just a second.
I also forgot I took a move for this moment, so I would also like to roll after you're finished. A different thing.
Okay, fantastic.
Sounds good.
Well, that's a 6, which I believe is still a failure.
Did you add the +1 from me?
Oh, I didn't. So 7. Yay.
Yes.
All right, so you will be able to ask one question.
What do we look? Do we concerned about the threats, danger, or best way out? I think for this, since it's kind of an insight thing, I kind of feel like maybe the biggest threat would be a good one.
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can
Okay.
agree with that.
Who or what is the biggest threat?
The biggest threat, as you're coming to understand, introducing more plot and giving more story, I'm going to say that this scroll that you are looking for is going to be in the home of Fire Sage Bai, the man who captured you.
He is my adversary.
And so, yeah, we're going to say that the scroll is there. Fire Sage Bai is your greatest adversary. And I will say this as people who have lived in this city and are aware, you know that General Gong, who serves underneath him, is the head of security for the city.
Oh, that's who released me.
All right. So I would like to use one of the special moves for the Guardian, which is called Suspicious Mind, which is why it sounded familiar to me. Um, so it says, when you watch a person carefully to figure them out, roll focus.
All right.
All right, so that was a 5, which is a failure. But this says, on a miss, you tip your hand, but can shift balance away from center to ask one question right now, which I would like to do.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
I think I'm going to shift balance towards self roll. You want to explain the balance mechanic real quick to folks, or should we just roll with it?
For the most part, the balance mechanic is that each one of these characters with their playbooks have two overarching kind of emotions or guiding forces in their lives. Moving between the two, uh, it's kind of a way of means thing. You are in a balance at first, and as you shift towards one or the other, you get a bonus when balance is being used in one case, but you get a negative in the other. It's a interesting mechanic that I'm still again wrapping my head around a little bit.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest, it's not well defined within the quick start, but I'm sure in the baseline rules it'll be better. The two things I forget what they're called. Values. The two values for my playbook are self-reliance and trust. So I'm shifting towards self-reliance with this, and I get to ask him, is he telling us the truth? And you have to answer honestly.
Honestly, he is telling the truth.
Hmm.
Okay, so that confirms he is our contact basically, or he has our best interest at heart,
Yes.
which is really what I wanted to get from this whole exchange.
All right. That said, so Fire Sage buys home is on the edge of the caldera. They like to look down on Harbor City and have a position that they feel is somewhat equal within their mindset of the lords. So you're here. Probably make your way through your tunnels. And that said, we're going to go ahead and pull one of the fun things in this game. So we need to speed up our action a little bit. And I'm going to throw something your way here. I'm going to throw a move your way as the GM. Uh, as a GM in this game, you have a number of moves, things that you can do that interact with the game, affect the story. Uh, I can, the goal is always to move the story forward and affect it in some way. And I'm going to say that you hear from the hallway, "Stop! What's going on there?" And the fire sage, his eyes get wide, and he's like, "Oh no, they're already onto us."
Time to fight then.
Or, just throwing this out here, Winley, do you think you could knock out our friend here?
Oh, of course I can. With pleasure.
I do apologize for this, but it will give you believable, plausible deniability. So I'm going to suggest we drop this guy and run, and hopefully the guards will focus on him instead of us.
Sounds great.
All right. Uh, so this would fall under advance and attack. It's not really story wise. You are striking him, but there is an outcome that you want besides just, uh, you know, harming him, knocking him out. You also are interacting with all the various factors, such as, are you going to be able to get away? Can you do this quickly? How quickly are they advancing? All this plays into this moment. So, rolling your 2d6 and adding your passion.
Oh, perfect. That's what I wanted. That is a 9.
All right, so that is a minimum success, and you would normally inflict a condition on a foe, but this is not really a foe. I'm going to say this has to do with interacting with something in your environment, and so I'm going to say yes. You you basically interact with him, run up and punch him across the face, and he's got a glass jaw, and he goes down hard, crumpling to the floor in front of you. Because you are successful, the guards are at the end of the hallway, coming from one direction, and they are running towards you. What are you going to do?
I would like to. Would this be a defend and respond? I would like to choose. I would like to use my earthbending because we're in a tunnel to throw up a quick wall that blocks their advancement so that they can no longer seize a position closer to us.
Okay. So that will need a roll with focus.
Right. Roll with focus. Okay. That is an 8 in
All
total.
right. So that is enough for success, or the minor success. You are going to need to, of course, take one fatigue, and they will have to take fatigue in order to reach you, is what that will do with them.
Hmm.
Because they are a small group of NPCs, less than 5 individuals, you have time enough to get away. Where are you going to go? What would you think is your plan to get out of here?
I looked down at him, I look at the gentleman we just knocked out, and went. We probably should have asked him which way was the direction out.
I would. Would it be okay if I took a move real quick before we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I'm going to go to Ming and give them a firm slap, clasp on the shoulder, and double check with them to make sure they're all right. So would like to use comfort or support with them.
All right.
Oh, that's because that'll clear a fatigue, right?
That can actually clear up to 2 fatigue, which you've
Oh,
taken 2 fatigue so
yes,
far.
I've taken 2 fatigue
So
at this
sort
point.
of as we run, grab you, make sure you're doing okay.
Yep. All right.
That's
I think
where
that's a
I'm
roll
at.
with harmony, I believe.
That is a roll with harmony. I have gotten a 7. which is a hit. So I'm asking you the question: are you okay? Are you all right? Is there anything we can get for you while we're running? So you can, if you
I'm
choose to.
uh I what would see. I go, yeah, sorry, I'm just still a little sore around the where the manacles, they decided to chain me up really tightly. So thank you,
All
though.
right. Yeah, just
Sorry, my
shake it out
motions
while
were
we're
a little
running.
stiff. Yeah.
Yeah, shake it out while we're running. Things will be okay. So let's start hauling down the hallway because we've only got one way to go down the hallway now that there's a giant earth wall between us and them.
Okay. As you're running, you pass, lighted sconces. There are staircases leading up and down, and all that echoes in your mind is that you're supposed to find a tunnel that will get you into the substructure of the sage's home. So,
I believe. Oh, I
this
was just
is
going to say something stupid.
no.
I'm going to say I believe someone needs to make a requisite secret tunnel joke.
Yeah.
Not so secret tunnels.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this definitely would be a good opportunity to use a move, or let me find a really good. Let's go ahead and say, how about a who's kind of leading your group? Who's leading you down the hallway? Let's go there.
I can. I'm got that kind of. I don't know if I've been down here before in the Dragonbone catacombs, but I will kind of like to just, like I said, I like to run into walls and see what gives. So I will do that. Can I assess the situation and see if I can figure out um what's the best way out?
Absolutely, definitely. Assessing would be fine.
Okay. And that's creativity, correct? So
Yes.
that is a 7.
Do you also, because you're acting on the what is the greatest danger? No, that was different. What is the greatest danger? You would get an ongoing +1 when acting on the answer from what is the greatest danger.
Oh. Would that apply here, John?
Sure.
Okay, then it's an 8. It's still a basic success, but still. It's better than a 7.
Uh, you think that honestly going up might be wrong and going down was probably wrong as well. So you keep to the hallways then that are on the same level and running through. You eventually find where it looks like water is coming through, a channel of water, and there is only a grate covering the top of it. If you guys dove down into it, you could actually probably swim under that grate and continue onwards.
I look at my loose clothing and go, "Oh no."
That's why you got to dress more practical. We have talked about this, but it's fine.
I need the freedom of movement.
Yeah, clothes get too loose with me. If I start bending, things ignite. It's a problem.
The guards are not too far behind, and it is time for somebody to really push
Oh,
your luck and get
gotta
you
go.
through.
Okay.
So this is a risky situation. You don't want the guards to know where you went. That means that whoever's doing this, go ahead and make a passion roll.
Does
Uh,
does it need to be somebody different than me?
It can be anyone,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay. Okay. Well, I have a rely on your skills and training. It's a basic move. Or you wanted us to push our luck, right?
Pushing your luck. This is a risky situation, and you are trying to do this
I mean,
in the nick of the time
I've
kind of
got,
moment.
I've got 2 in my passion. So let's do it. I took us down this path, so let's go.
And we are down to 2.
I'm taking it where it landed on the ground. That's a 5 plus 3. It's an 8 plus my passion of 2 is a 10.
There we go. A 10 plus is your boldness pays off despite the cost.
Damn right it does. Okay.
And a lucky opportunity falls in your lap. We're going to say that as you jump in, after you get past the grate, the current pulls you along and you are sucked away from this location, but not to a dangerous extent. Whoop, we just lost Rob.
He lost power.
Oh no.
All right. That
Well.
said, we've just lost 2 players. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a short break. We're going to go ahead and move to a 10-minute counter. We're going to see if our friends are able to join us. If they are,
Yeah.
we will continue. If they aren't, this is just the way it is tonight. And we'll just go ahead and chat for a moment. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Well,
All right. Give us 10 minutes. We'll be back.
all right, sounds good.
should be back in.
Yep, we're back in.
All right. Well, all things considered, hi chat out there. Thank you everybody who came out tonight. I want to definitely thank. Let's see, we got Laura out there. Thank you so much for coming out. Sometimes these things just happen. But that said, we're gonna go ahead and call it here. We've got two players that have dropped out from Lightning, and we are starting to get it outside ourselves, which is rather interesting. I mean, we're what 500 to 800 miles apart in location, yet we are both being knocked out by the same
Yeah,
thing.
we got one person in Houston. We got one in Indy. That's who dropped out.
I
Rob's
bring
in Indy.
I blame the Fire Lord. Obviously, lightning bending.
Obviously,
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 obviously.
that son of a bitch just ruined our game and our plot.
But that said, we are talking about probably coming back with this at some point. It's too fun not to try. And so we'll try and get the table back together and get everyone back on again for another Seriously Let's Play. That said, I'm going to toss out a few things really quick.
Sure.
So obviously, this game that we played tonight is coming out from Magpie. They are wonderful. Be sure to go check out all their games that are out there. They just finished up Passion Les Passions, or uh, you can go see Masks, A New Beginning, and Cartel, I believe, was another one that just came out from them. All really good Kickstarters, and I've never had a issue with any fulfillment from them or anything. So I always give them a big recommendation on that. That said, as far as our channel goes, we have coming up next week on Thursday, we will be back in with Growing Shadows if I can get all my cast together, which I'm betting we
We
will.
should. We should, as long as there are no weather issues in Houston like there are tonight, because we have Growing Shadows is all in Houston except for John and I now. So
Yep.
we all used to be there. So when weather hits down there, generally it doesn't affect us. But I know you guys can't see me. But oh, you can see the dog though. We won't stop
Aw.
clicky clomping around.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully all that'll be well as long as the weather holds out for us down there in Houston, because their power grid is pretty terrible. So it goes out even when it's not storming. So
Yep. On top of that, though,
you
coming
missed
up
Monday. You missed Monday's game. You skipped
Monday,
right over it.
it's a new game. We've got a brand new game. It is sorry, help me out, Roxy. It's the
The Voyages of is our Star Trek Adventures 2D20 from Modifius podcast or actual play. Modifius is in no way associated. I was just reading out Star Trek Adventures from Modifius. But yeah, that is our Star Trek actual play. It's the Voyages of the USS Serenidus in the Gamma Quadrant, and we have had 3 really good episodes. We had a diplomatic conference that was quite an experience. There's all kinds of stuff going on during that diplomatic conference. Then last week we had a major holodeck incident and some first contact with a group of people that chose to be known as the Electro Nebula people. I'm looking at you, Matt. That it's the edgiest, lordiest name I've ever heard. We're the Electro Nebula people. But
sounds like a great concert. I
so,
mean,
yeah, they opened for Wild Stallion in '89, I think. But they so yeah, this week is called Eye of the Cyclops. One of our players that was here tonight was Rob. Um, and he will be GMing or storytelling for that episode. He is also one of the players on that episode, and we will see how that goes. We're excited. It's been a great time. If you love Star Trek, love sci-fi, and love RPGs, you should come out and check us out. The same time slot as this one, except on Mondays. So
and
4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern.
And on the 24th, I'm going to be sure that everybody is aware, we have our next Seriously Let's Play, which will be suited by Escape Box Games. We will be having the writer Ted Pick Jr. He will be running the game here on the channel. We will also be joined by Jordan Pridgeon, who you may know from several different shows out there. And we are also being joined by Chris Hussey. Jordan, like I said, tons of shows out there. You might know him best from Wild Cards, and Chris Hussey. he's been in the RPG industry for about 20 years. He's got his credits going back to FASA, I believe. So
His stuff will be anything that you would have heard from him. He has two Deadlands podcasts, one Deadlands Noir and one Deadlands Weird West. He has Gun for Hire, which is the Noir podcast, and then he also has Young and Holt. So you can find those. I'll have links for all those when it comes time. But he's out there on the internet. He plays in the game I play in on every other Wednesday night, the Curse of Strahd Savage Worlds port. So
yeah, so gonna be an absolute blast to have them on the channel, and we're all gonna sit around and play a game that Suited is a game that uses a deck of cards per players, and honestly, I've played it once before. And I had an absolute blast. We played Air Scouts, which it turns out that there used to be long ago a scout program that involved learning to fly planes.
specifically for Girl Scouts.
Yeah, specifically for Girl Scouts, and I think it's awesome. And it's too bad it's not around anymore. But on top of that, uh, yeah, it was in a zombie apocalypse setting at that. So you were basically playing Girl Scout Air Scouts, fighting zombies. So it was a blast. But that said, that's pretty much all the things we got going on. Michael, if do you want to go ahead and toss out a little bit more on your show?
Yeah. As I said, I am currently one of the players for Hidden Worlds Incursions, specifically the Misadventures of the Restore Corps, which is the series we have on the One Legged GM channel on YouTube. We are current. I think we put out episode 8 tonight, and we are putting it out every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. every week. There is also a nice character introduction, lets you learn a little bit more about us, and I know that he in the future is planning on putting out like game advice stuff, like GMing advice, and since he is a writer, he is also going to be putting out like some writing advice stuff in there, world building.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we will see what else comes our way, and hopefully we can find some way to get everybody back on together. But that said, I think we had a pretty good evening, and hopefully we can get a little bit more of this done next time. To Magpie Games, thank you so much for putting this out. We are thrilled to see where this is going and to give us the opportunity to see all the different timelines we get to play in, or the opportunity to. So thank you guys so much. That said, we're going to go ahead and call it tonight. We are looking like we're about to storm. So I'm going to get the dogs out. We're going to call it an evening, and uh, take good care of yourself out there. All right. Hope to see y'all back in chat soon.